sorry, one more thing. What happens is they are stronger with less developed countries and ethnic minorities, the global brands, because of aspiration. People like McDonald's for the aspiration. They want to aspire to the global lifestyle, to be in the mainstream, to be part of the same thing in Russia. McDonald's is very strong in Russia. Russians want to belong. When you belong already, there's no need, much less need. Although McDonald's is doing very well in France for whatever reason. So, but anyway, local brands can also be strong. Local brands are more responsive to local conditions. Local brands are more responsive. They're more adapted. They're more marketing oriented. And what we find is in advanced markets, they have high quality. Global brands, some research says, have higher quality. For maybe a few years they did. Now local brands have high quality. Please, if your local brands don't have high quality, you cannot survive. And now in advanced markets, the local brands have as high quality as global brands. That's what they say in Europe. That's what they say in the US. I have not seen it in Asia, but I know the Japanese market. They believe that actually Japanese brands have higher quality than other brands. But that's a special case. Global brands have higher status. Social status is higher for global brands still. Social status is this luxury effect, the impact on other people. Global brands are better. But local brands have more affinity. If you're a strong person and you want to be somebody special, local brands will be better for you. And they say this. Whereas global brands are better if you're insecure, if you feel you want to go somewhere, global brands are good. So the question is, to what extent can you build on the affinity? As a local brand, you have to protect the affinity. Affinity is the soft equity. We talked about the big financial equity. Local brands, by and large, have higher soft equity, better feeling, loyalty. So global brands have higher financial brand equity, softer brand equity for local brands. In less developed countries, global brands have an advantage. In less developed countries, global brands have an advantage. Advanced countries, there's no price or quality difference. The only global advantage is social status. The local brand advantage is the feeling. So finally, some advice for local brands, how to survive, how to make it. Because they have higher affinity and higher loyalty, and if you run a local brand, you will feel we can build on this. The problem is that the global brands will not let you be alone. Global brands, my MBAs from Georgetown, our MBAs from the United States, are taught to attack. We attack markets. We go into markets. We grow. We move into markets. None of the global brands will stay still. And they will look at the market and they will look at attractive market and evaluate the various markets. Are they large markets? Are they growing markets? Are they not very competitive? Is there regulation? Are the entry barriers low? Are they part of a trade bloc? And what you find, of course, if you're part of a trade bloc, so your trade barriers have to come down, you're opening it up for foreigners. And you know this very well in Italy. So foreigners would try to come in. Global brands will try to come in and take the market. You have to defend. And the defense comes first, of course, to have good quality and good strength on your own. And then try to emphasize this loyal factor, this soft affinity. So there are three parts to the defense. Number one, you can make the market unattractive. Think about it. You make the market unattractive by saying, we're not growing, it's not a large market, it's a special market, it's protected. Japan is a classic example. Japan is a very unattractive market for many products. Luxury products do very well in Japan, but for other products, Japan is not good. It's because they have made the market very unattractive. High customs barriers, special segments, special desires. I'll talk a bit more about that. So you have artificial entry barriers. I would expect, and I would encourage you not to think that you're going to raise barriers, protection. It's not sustainable. But what is sustainable is natural entry barriers. Be competitive, work hard, be very proactive in the local community, in the local market. And don't show too high profitability. I don't know if you looked at the companies in Asia, they don't make money. China market, companies make very little money. So China market is very tough because there's not much margin for the companies. And if you are sort of wanting to go in there, you're going to have to face low profitability. Second thing you can do is to go in and create the markets, preempt the markets inside of the country before they go in, before the global brands come in, and you stress the cultural uniqueness, or they cater to economic disparities. And I'll talk briefly about Japan's fruit. Japan's fruits in Japan are for gifts, so they have to be very special. So if Americans were trying to sell fruit for many years, not very useful because you don't package it like that. You might have heard about watermelons for $50 and so on. Another one that you might have heard of, thumbs up in India. I think this is interesting. I think this is very instructive. Coca-Cola was allowed into India again, bought the leading brand, Thumbs Up, wanted to take it off the market. Thumbs Up stayed in the market, and Coca-Cola had to sell it off as a separate division, and it's become and it still is the market leader. Thumbs Up in India is the beer of India, because Indians don't drink alcohol. So the market for soft drinks in India is the 20-year-olds, not the teenagers. And this is where Coca-Cola made a mistake. So a local brand like Thumbs Up in India is a very strong brand, high loyalty, and Coca-Cola is not doing very well. And number three, the local defense. Go out. If you're strong at home, meet the global brand on the outside. Put the fight away from the home market into the outside. Go into the stronghold. Occupy the local segments, expand into foreign markets, and move into the foreign markets that already have been entered by a global brand. And Illy Cafe is one example of that. Illy Cafe, you know, from Trieste, very strong espresso brand, are moving into the US, are moving into Asia to take on Starbucks. This is Andrea Illy in New York, opening up stores in New York. Take the battle to the enemy, kind of. I'm running out of time, but this is the conclusion. Global brands are usually strong challengers. You cannot sit back and think that you're safe. They will attack. But they're simply not big and strong because they're global, because they raise the promotional cost and they trade on their brand image. So you can survive by making the local brand market less attractive, increase the entry barriers, enhance local advantages, and preempt global advantage by counterattacking in the new segments. Counterattack. What local brands cannot do is to trust local consumers' promises to stay loyal and statements that brands do not matter or ask for regulatory help. Don't believe consumers when they say, yes, we are okay. We believe we're going to stay loyal to you. Thank you.
Grazie. Grazie per